Hey, how's it going? Heretics James here for good old Heretic Wargaming. So today we are covering the collection here at Heretic Wargaming. Now, this is not a collection to aspire to, I guess, because it wasn't just me, right? Even though I did spend a good amount of money, and thanks to the wife, so she gets like college disbursements and would give me random chunks of money. But a lot of this I had to and I'm going to kind of describe where I got all these models, because you don't have to buy new, right? I'm actually a big believer in secondhand models, and I'm a big believer in reclaiming things that people will no longer use. Same thing, I'll actually trade in models that I won't use to get models that I will. And then also a shout out to several guys. So we'll shout them out as I show off the models. But this is an awfully long video. I am going to be showcasing every single model that we have. So yeah, enjoy. All right, where to start? So here is my room. Now, apologize, it is a little messy right now because we're constantly painting. And I know this is a showcase of mainly the model collection, but I'll also cover like kind of how we operate here on Heretic Wargaming. So over here on my hobby desk, so I've actually got two different light sources. So I've got my little overhead lamp here, and then my light ring. So my light ring is actually what I use when I film a lot of stuff like Tacticas and things, and we talk to you guys. But it's also fantastic for painting. So this is my little painting area right here. Oh, let me close up my wet palette so it doesn't dry out. I was just painting these scarabs. Right there. So over here on the right side of the desk, this is where I actually store all of my bits. I've got each bit little thing labeled. I wrote it with a Sharpie on the front. And then over here, I've got another little holder for all my paints, which is really, really nice. On the left side of the hobby desk here, so this is where I actually keep all my green stuff tools. I actually keep a thing of bubble wrap around, because the reason being, if I'm actually driving long distance with my bins, I can actually tuck a bunch of bubble wrap inside the bins, and it actually holds the models in place. Over under the desk, that's where I store all the terrain for the channel. And then on the right side here, this is my wife's old little this was like a little hobby store thing. And so this is actually where I keep my GW pots of paint. This is where I keep like sprues. So always keep like spare sprues around for when you guys want to do magnets and stuff. I got plastic card, spare bottles if I ever wanted to redo bottles. Glue gun, so on and so forth. So that way I have a little bit of everything depending on what I'm ending up doing. And then, yeah, that's it for my hobby area. Now, I guess we'll go ahead and start on the table here as far as the collection goes. So, we recently acquired 10 Scarab Occult Terminators here, and these guys are actually drying. I did buy these using Patreon funds, so thank you, patrons. And yeah, we're just painting them all up and getting them going. This guy actually is, so I'm using him actually to paint up the sorcerer, so that way I make sure they're the same. This right here is our change caster, which he has magnetized. So thanks to Failer, one of the fans of the channel, he's the one that painted this guy up for me. And you guys can see him in all of his glory. So he turned out really, really nice. And I was actually painting the rim of his base, so I'm going to actually put him away as we go. Set him over there. Over here on the right side of the desk, so I always have some models sitting out because these are actually what are in my queue per se. Now the queue does change depending on like tournaments and stuff going on. So this is actually my converted Tallyman that I'm working on. He's getting painted up. 2 Death Guard Rhinos or Nurgle Rhinos, and then a Hellforged Scorpius that was Nurgle-fied. And this was donated to the channel. The kit was donated to the channel thanks to what's his name now? It was Arch Elector on Discord. I cannot remember his name. He was a prior patron, and he ended up unsubscribing, but we miss him, and I hope that he's doing well. So we'll start on top here. And so this is the wall, so the infamous poster, right, where I write everybody's names on the bottom. Down here is where I keep awards as I win them. Obviously, I haven't won much. Hey, my one GT piece of paper. But so we'll start up here on top. So I've got a unit of 9 plague drones. So I've slowly collected these over time. Bought a bunch of Nurgle start collecting boxes to get majority of these guys. And I've played with them a few times. Obviously, got to get to painting them. This guy right here was actually left at a local game store, and he was there for about 3-4 months, and the owner offered him to me. So, yeah, so I got a free chariot. This right here is my magnetized chariot. So the neat thing is I magnetized it in a way that, so as a matter of fact, where'd you go? This guy right here, he's actually magnetized. We'll pop him off. Boop. And he actually magnetizes right there to actually sit on there. So thanks for maintaining that, by the way, Snur. So, or Matt, yeah, Snur. My one Mauler Fiend that I never really use. This guy right here is the Scuttlebug that was sent to us by Miniature Scenery. So this is actually a fantastic little transport. He's a sponsor of the channel. And one day I'll use him. He just kind of sits here, but he looks cool, so I just kind of leave him there. Here are the knights, and along with the Lord of Change that I share pictures of everywhere, right? So I've got my 2 Nurgle-fied knights, Rust Bucket, and that guy. And then back there is my Tzeentch Knight, which I picked this guy up. He's actually a second-hand model, So this is actually a second-hand model that was a non-Chaos Knight, and I went ahead and used a bunch of spare bits, some magnets and stuff. So these guys are completely magnetized. The turret on top, also got the guns on the sides that are magnetized. So these guys are actually interchangeable, and I actually have basically gun bits for all of these guys. I got some 3D printed thermal cannons for all of them, and so yeah, we've got those guys here on the channel. Up on top here, so this is where I house both Primarchs. I know that it's a little blurry, actually. So yeah, this is where I have all 3 Helldrakes that are painted up in the back there. One of my Defilers right there. I got Magnus and Mortarion. And my 2 Snot and Ratchet. These are my 2 Armigers, my Nurgle Armigers from my old Nurgle Knights list that I loved running there for a while. So down here, this is my bucket of rubrics. So you guys are going to notice that this is actually my storage solution because buying shelving and stuff, this is previously how I would store everything. But I realized that, you know, I could pick these little totes up at the Walmart for like 99 cents. And if you just place a piece of cardboard on the bottom, your models don't actually slip around nearly as much. And that's where the bubble wrap comes in. So if I'm going to a tournament, right, and I've got to use 30 rubrics, I'll just fold up some bubble wrap, put them on top, and boom. Storage solution. So you guys don't need to buy the fancy foam bags unless that's kind of your thing to do, right? So, but yeah, and here we have all the rubric marines. There's 35 of them total hanging out in there, all painted in my ghost scheme. Go ahead and move this off to the side as we go. So right here is my lots of HQs bucket. So in here, this is mainly non-sorceress HQs. So you guys will notice this is where I've got my Jump Lords that I've used in several battle reports. So like the Jump Claw Lord. Over there is my Dark Apostle and his 2 dudes. Actually, here, as we talk about them, because it'll probably focus in better with better lighting. There we go. Haha. That's why you buy these things, guys. So, yeah, we've got Jump Lord, a couple Master of Executions I've used in a few tournament lists. My 2 Greater Possessed. Jump Smashy Lord right there. We got a couple of Lords of Contagion, which I haven't painted. I've got 3 Foul Blight Spawns. I've only ever used 2, hence why 2 are painted up. My Spoilbox Scrivener. So this guy right here, this is my Sloppity Bob Piper. This was painted for me by Clark Paints. You guys have probably seen him post up stuff. And so thanks so much, Clark, for painting that guy up. So he's painted up for when I eventually ever use them. This right here is my Warp Smith. And this is actually a Chaos Lord that I converted, yet again, secondhand models, out of a 30K, what are they called? like Cataphractii Terminator. But yeah, I used a sword out of the Terminator kit, added a Chaos head to it, a Storm Bolt or a Combi Bolter, and some spikes. And so he actually turned out really nice. I think he'll be a really cool HQ option. Infernal Rapturous, we got a Contorted Epitome. So out of these, and I'll actually show off one of my Foul Blight spawns. So these were actually one of my first conversions right here. And I'm actually very fond of these guys. I used just a normal, sorry if it's blurry. I used just a normal Plague Marine here. Here. My stupid phone is just not wanting to focus in today. What are you doing, phone? It just wants to focus in the back. But, so this guy, I actually used green stuff to make like a worm on his arm. And so he ended up being a Foul Blight spawn. Here, maybe if I set it down. No, phone? No? No? That's light. Okay. Well, anyways, so yeah, that's one of the Foul Blight spawns, and he's just made out of a Chaos Space Marine. You put him on a 40 mil and call it a day. Same with the other guy. Most of these are just converted, like the Double Claw Lord. He was converted out of a just a normal Raptor. So I just took a normal Warp Talon and sacrificed him to be a Chaos Lord. So, which I absolutely love running this guy. He's a lot of fun. So. But yeah, there's a bucket of elites and HQs, right? So let's go ahead and move this off to the side. And like I said, this is going to be a long video. And shout out to Justin. He's the one that requested this video. He's one of my patrons. And so hopefully, buddy, this suits your fancy. So this is yet another bucket of HQs. And these are all the casters. And so this is actually the base for my Ahriman. So my Ahriman, he's got his disc and his normal base, so he's magnetized to go to either one. I've got a Chaos Sorcerer and Terminator armor. That's my Typhus Corrosion, which was actually my very, very first conversion. Absolutely love that guy. We've got a Master of Executions, just a normal Terminator Lord. He would normally be in the other one, but I ran out of space. Plague Surgeon. We got the Mephitic Lord, or Malignant Lord. Yeah, Plague Caster guy. A couple Exalted Sorcerers in here, some Poxbringers, one that's painted. This is actually a Chaos Terminator Sorcerer of Nurgle. Yeah, yet again, another conversion. This guy was actually made out of a Lord of Contagion. So we made him up. And so this was one of my very first ones, and I love the way he turned out. We've got Necrosius in here, otherwise known as just a normal Chaos Sorcerer. That's just better. Sometimes I use him. This is my old 30k Ahriman, and I actually used him as my Ahriman forever and ever and ever and ever before I bought a one of the Get Started kits for 1,000 Suns, which is totally worth the cost to buy at least one. So, and that was actually sold to me for $5 from my buddy David, one of the owners at Maelstrom Games and Hobbies. This is my converted jump sorcerer from a Malignant Plaguecaster, because I had like 3 of them, and to me, I don't really need 3 of them. So I have the one that I actually use, and then him, and then the unpainted one over here if I ever need another one for any reason. This is an old Mephiston. So I figured he looked pretty Emperor's Children-y, so I added a Slanesh symbol on his shoulder here. His backpack was already pretty scully. And he's metal, so don't drop him. He'll actually... Oh, I broke his arm off. Cool. Well, I'm going to have to fix that model after this. Yeah, let me grab his pistol. But his pistol was chaosy, so... metal models, they do tend to break pretty easily, so is what it is. Yeah, and then we also have a metal Mask of Slanesh. I also use this as just a normal Herald from time to time, whenever I actually use Slanesh-y things. So, but yeah, this is the Bucket O Caster HQs. And because I have to fix that guy, I'm just going to kind of set it off to the side so that I can put him back in there when I'm done fixing him later. I guess we'll go down here to the left. So down here, this is where we have a few of the demon engines. So we've got the 3 Venom Crawlers you guys have seen in multiple battle reports in the back. This is my big old posse of Foetid Bloat drones. So this guy right here. So these were some and I shared these. These are some flesh mowers that a buddy of the channel, Justin, printed out. And I actually had to convert up, so I used the spitters that come on these guys. Why are you not focusing today, phone? To actually make like little armatures to hold the flesh mowers. So we made 2 of those guys. Haven't painted them because I really had no use for them. We got our 5 new Havocs. I just got these guys, and they have Reaper chain cannons. So I actually traded in a bunch of models that I'm never going to use, and they sold, and I was able to buy those. And I was also able to buy the big, great unclean one who's all magnetized, all of his bits. So anything that I magnetize and I have the bits for, those are actually stored in the foam bags. And the reason for that is because, well, I'll only ever need one option, so there's no real reason to actually carry them around, except for when I need them. My second defiler in the back, the Terex Pattern Assault Drill, which was given to us by the one, the only Papa Nurgle. He sent that to us. And then the Hellbrute, which was given to me by Gregory Swanson. And so this guy's fully magnetized. Yet again, all of his arms are in those foam bags we talked about. And 3 Screamers that just kind of hang out in the back because I don't know when I'm going to use 3 Screamers. This is my box of new stuff, so it's not actually labeled yet. And then here we've got the 3 freshly painted Exalted Flamers. I absolutely love those guys, so those are painted up. We've got 9 Mutilators. I shared a video of these not too long ago. But yeah, Mutilators that I converted up. So if I decide to run Emperor's Children, or if they get real good in the new book, whenever we get one, I'll be ready to go, right? And then we also have 9, these were also given to us, 9 old school Havocs, all with las cannons. Then we have the brand new Abaddon, a Herald of Corn, and then the new Fabius Bile. So all of these were freshly primed up, ready to go, and they're good to go for whenever I want to actually paint them. Sprayer cutting mat by Miniature Scenery, it just kind of hangs out here. Then in this bin, so this is my Demon Princes and Lord Discordance. So I've got 2 Lord Discordance in here. This is where I've got the 2 multi-purpose Demon Princes. This guy's falling over. I've got my Epidemius conversion. I've got 3 Demon Princes of Nurgle and 1 Feculent Narmal. So most of this is actually painted. The only unpainted model in there is that 1 Nurgle Demon Prince, because I never really used 3, so I basically left the one that I don't like as much as the other 2 unpainted. So maybe I'll trade it to somebody, I don't know. So here's my Plague Burst Crawlers, and so because these guys have a bunch of spiky bits and are converted, and I take them everywhere, I actually leave the foam in there, because I use these guys a lot, so I'm not really going to take them out. But yeah, you guys have seen them in plenty of battle reports, so I don't feel like I really need to pull them out. So here's my box of cultists, 60 cultists in all lined up in the bottom there. So half of these are painted, the other half are in various stages of work. So we'll just go ahead and move that. This is my box of 66 Poxwalkers, most of which were painted, and then one, the only Gregory Swanson, sent us another 20. So now I've got 20 more to paint eventually. So who knows? Maybe one day I will actually paint them and run them all. Never know when I'm going to do that. So this is our box of Chaos Space Marines and Warp Talons. So a few of them are falling over in there. So most of these Chaos Space Marines were converted from old Berserkers and some old Marines some guys sent me. And then I also bought 1 set of the new ones out of the Shadow Spear set. And then we've got the 10 Warp Talons in various stages of painting, because when they were good, I was totally going to paint them for my World Eaters. And then right now they're in kind of a rough spot, so. And here's my, so these are the Plague Marines that I just recently painted, and then the 20 Possessed Marines that Greg sent us. So they're primed up gold, ready to go for if and when I want to run some Possessed. I know I haven't played them, Greg, but they're on standby in case I ever actually want to use them. Coming down here on the bottom. So down here on the bottom, so because these are on larger bases, these boxes don't quite hold like full squads. So this is actually a unit of 30 Plague Bearers, my painted unit, and then part of a second unit, which I need to completely redo those guys. I used contrast brown on them, and I did not like the way that it turned out. So they might turn out better though once I put some work into them. But so those are box of Plague Bearers. Where's my box of? Oh, it ended up getting moved. Then this is the box of Brimstones and box of Blue Horrors. So we got 20 Brimstones and 20 Blue Horrors. Oh, I actually have space in there. Maybe that's where I'll put the Scarab Occult Terminators. I was actually trying to find a space for the Scarab Occult Terminators to go, so I'm going to put that on top. Yeah, we got that. Here's the box of the rest of the Plague Bearers, because I have a total of 60 from back when they were really, really good. And then some more Plague Marines. So this, yet again, shout out to Gregory. He sent me a bunch of extra Plague Marines. So I've basically painted up the guys that I'm actually going to play with, and then all the extra special weapons. I did up their armor, and then I left it there. That way it's just easy to finish them eventually. This is my unit of 30 horrors. You guys have seen them a bunch. One day I will actually finish all the little bits and bobs on them because their skin is done. But yeah, I just, like, I'll put them on. I love playing them, and I'll put them on the field, but then they never perform well, so they've never ended up in like a tournament list, if that makes sense. So go ahead and slide those guys back. My Rubric Marines. Yeah, yep. You guys go up on top there. So there's all of that. Now we come down here, so this is the mat that you guys have seen on many, many battle reports. I just kind of leave it sitting in front of here, out of the way. So this is my box of Bloodletters and Gores. I need to get 20 more Zangors, but so all the Bloodletters you guys have seen, and then 10 Zangors that, yeah, they just kind of hang out off to the side. Now this is a box of painted stuff. So these are the Blight Haulers that I recently painted up. And then my units, my 2 units of 5 Death Shroud, and then my Biologist Putrefier that I just finally painted. And so this is just a showcase of the collection. I'm not really going to like pull out each individual model and show you guys unless it's like a conversion or something like that. Or something cool. And most of this stuff was mostly brand new, except for the shout-outs, obviously, where somebody donated something. So, sorry about the interruption. So in this little box right here, we've got our Flamers of Tzeentch and our 9 Chaos Bikers here, 3 of which were previously, before they got legended, Chaos Lords on bikes. This is actually one. He's got a Power Fist on him. And so, really love how these guys turned out. So this is an example of something that I got secondhand. I waited till guys actually were getting out of the hobby and picked up these bikes for dirt cheap. One of them I got in a bits bag that I had bought a lot for like 20 bucks. And then all the rest, I think, in total cost me maybe $40. Like, if you got a buddy that's a Dark Angels player or... you know, somebody who's got some old bikes laying around. They all had to be rebased, and I actually ended up buying some MDF bases, which my roommate can now make. So MDF bases, I think, are a lifesaver. They're way cheaper than the plastic one. And then, like I said, 6 Flamers of Tzeentch. Go ahead and put that away. So this box right here, this is normally where the Scorpius and the 2 Rhinos are, and then these are my 3 painted black Rhinos. I know they look Black Legion-y, but they're actually for anybody who's not Nurgle. So that way, when I run my World Eaters, I run my Emperor's Children or whatever, they go in the black Rhinos, because black is a good neutral color. This right here is my box of World Eater Berserkers, pre-Heresy World Eaters. Now, I did get one finished because I was painting these before I went on vacation to see my wife. Finished one of them. And, yeah, so I've got a Lord in here with a chain axe. I also have my Dark Apostle in here somewhere. Where are you at? Oh, yeah. Who's made out of one of the old Chaos Chosen models. So, this is the guy with the Power Fist. So yeah, I just used him because I figured he would make a good Exalted Champion. So, and yeah, this is just the box of Berserkers that I'm slowly working on. And they are the actual Berserker models. I actually picked up these chain axes off of Shapeways to finish getting the chain axes on the whole squad. So, yeah, a lot of fun. Like those guys. Then the next box is my box O Terminators. So this is the 10 Blight Lord Terminators and then the 10 normal Chaos Terminators. Half of these, yet again, as a way to save money. Half of them are the actual Chaos Terminator kit, the new one. I actually cut these axes off of the Berserkers that I ended up using to make the Chaos Space Marines, because at the time I wasn't really using Berserkers. So and I needed the axes for these dudes. So that's where I got most of the axes. Now I know how to make bits. I also converted up some, so this was like the mace that comes with the kit, so on and so forth. But half of these guys are actually, I'll show you guys this one as an example. These are actually Imperial Terminators. God, man, I don't know why this is not focusing well today. I'll bring them up to the light. Yeah. But this guy was actually a loyalist Terminator, and I went ahead and strapped a bolter to his fist akin to a Grey Knight Terminator. Added like some beaky helmets and a bunch of chaosy bits, and I mixed some chains and stuff. But I mixed the Imperial kit with the Chaos kit because I won the Imperial kit actually from a GT. So and I figured might as well. It was the only thing that they had that I could even use for possibly making some Chaos Terminators. So but yeah, so those are the Terminators right there. And I had made space for the Scarabs, and then they actually won't fit in here. So yeah. So we'll go ahead and set them back along with this box. And then the last bin for Chaos. So this is my bin of Dreadnoughts and Obliterators. So I've got the 3 painted Chaos Obliterators right here. One of which I'm pretty popular for. This is actually an old Hellbrute that I converted into an Obliterator when I only had 2 of them from a Shadow Spear kit. And then I actually picked up, yet again, used these 4 Obliterators right here. I ended up getting used for like $10 from a guy that was getting out of 40k. So totally well worth it, right? Even if I never use them, and I'll eventually maybe use them. So these are 2 Contemptor Dreadnoughts that were donated to the channel from good old Greg Swanson. So I'm actually going to magnetize their arms and make these 2 magnetized and shave off any, because these are Death Guard ones. So I'm going to shave off all the Death Guard-y stuff. And then I have my 3 converted dual Butcher Cannon with Havoc Launcher Contemptors. You guys have seen these in battle reports, old battle reports. So yeah, if you guys have never seen these, one of them uses the Forge Fiend arms from the Mauler Fiend that I made up there. And then the other 2 I used Plasticard to make the Butcher Cannons out of. But yeah, these 3 haven't seen the table in a good bit. Maybe one day I'll make a Death Guard report with them. Maybe test out that list that you sent me, Jake, with the dual Butcher Cannon. But waiting on the new Forge World rules, right? And so these 3 actually, they were not Chaos Dreadnoughts. They were Imperial Dreadnoughts. So I bought these ones used for $20 a piece, and they were in terrible shape. Ended up refurbishing them and making them into Chaos. Same guy I bought both of the Defilers from for $20 a piece as well. So yet again, they were in bad shape. So you just fix them up, you know, make them usable, and off you go, you know. And so that is the Chaos collection here on Heretic Wargaming. Everything put in its place. And so let's go off to the right. And I didn't show the Nurglings. I do have a box of 18 Nurglings, but they're split. 5 are up there being painted, and then the other 13 are down there. So working on those guys too. And then onto the side of things. Oh, I guess I flipped the camera around. Onto the Tyranid side of things. So we've got our 2 Flyrants with magnetized arms up here on the top shelf, along with the Malanthrope. All right. This is my Venomthrope that came to me. So I bought this whole collection used. And his back leg was actually missing, so I made it look like a Chaos Space Marine had cut off his leg from a random Chaos Space Marine I had lying around, so which was a lot of fun. Up in this top bin, I haven't labeled it yet, but this is all my Ripper Swarms that I made up, all the magnetized arms for all the Hive Tyrants, and my 6 Hive Guard, all up in here. In the second box, this is all the large Tyranids. So my magnetized Exocrine, that's my magnetized Foot Tyrant, which I've used a lot. My Turvagom, which is not magnetized, and then my Tyrannifex, which is magnetized, so I fixed him. And then I also have this Swarm Lord in there. So I use a lot of magnets, especially on models that have multiple arm options that you might want to swap out. So I'm a big believer in magnets. I don't think I really covered the magnets other than like models where you can move models from one to the other. But like the Hellbrute over there is magnetized. My Great and Clean one is obviously magnetized. The Knights are fully magnetized. Like magnets are amazing, guys. So definitely invest in some magnets if this is something that you intend to do for a while. Here's my bin of Zoanthropes and Venomthropes. So I've got 3 Venomthropes and then one Broodlord in there. But then that's like 14 Zoanthropes and 1 Neurothrope, which is really cool. I use those guys quite a bit. You guys have seen them in multiple battle reports. Here's my 3 Lictors and my 3 big old Carnifexes that need bases. The only reason they're unbased is they were on the old 60 mil bases, and I'm trying to rebase them with the ovals. But I need to magnetize their arms, so that's why they are the way that they are. Here's my Tyranid Warriors. I got 15 total in there, and so some of these guys, this is actually something that I did in one of the videos where you use green stuff to mold your own bits. You guys can see a few of them that are unpainted. So the other ones that are primed, you can't really tell, but like some of their claws and stuff are actually green stuff. So it was a lot of fun doing that. It was very time consuming, and I'm glad to finally be done doing that many green stuffed bits. And here's my box of Gene Stealers. They're all in a mess right now from the game that I played forever ago, and there's 40, 50 of them in there, I think. Gene Stealers. Then we got the Termagants and the Hormagaunts, plus Termagants. So I'll just go ahead and bring these down and just kind of show you guys how many we have. And so this is why I have not really gotten around to painting these guys. This is part of why I really feel like you need a airbrush if you're going to try to paint these guys. So I think it's a total of over 100. I think this is 120 models. I think it's 60 Termagants. No, because there's only 30 Hormagaunts, or 40 Hormagaunts. Yeah, it's over 100 models in here. So, yeah, and this is why I haven't really gotten around to painting the Tyranids. It's because I just get overwhelmed by the fact of how many there are. The big ones aren't too bad. It's all the little small ones that kind of become a pain. So, hence why I'm looking into a airbrush. And so, I know most people set out their entire collection. I don't honestly know where I would set out this this number of models in the house, because this table is not nearly big enough for what I have. So, but yeah, that is the collection here. So let's go ahead and go to the outro. So I hope you guys enjoyed viewing the collection here at Heretic Wargaming. So when I tell you guys I'm a one-man operation, that is what I mean. I am one guy. Build, I paint, I convert, I do all the stuff here for the channel. Everything that you see that is painted, I have painted, other than, I think, one model. And then the few that I showcased with Clark's paints, he's painted 2 models. Buddy Snur, he painted 1. And then Greg, he sent me several models that were already painted. I was like, ah, these are fine. I like the way that they look. So beyond that, everything else I have painted. So just slowly working on it. I'm definitely in a much better spot than I was when we first started the channel, where I literally only had Death Guard stuff painted. So, yeah, now the Thousand Suns for the most part are painted, other than the Zangors and a few HQs. The Death Guard is getting there right now. I actually have painted Plague Marines, which was definitely a challenge. The demons, I'm getting there with demons. Demons are kind of my focus right now. I'm slowly getting a lot of demons painted now. So, but yeah. So hope you guys really enjoyed this. And yeah, we'll try to do this yearly, assuming I'm still doing this in another year, which I hope I am. And we'll get you guys another update. But that being said, you guys have yourselves a good day, and I'll see you guys in the next video here at Heretic Wargaming.